What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. I didn't have enough time to go out and shoot this week just because of work and all that. So today instead we're going to be going over my editing workflow and kind of seeing what goes into the average photo, all without presets or anything like that. I think presets are a useful part of editing and they can have a place in your workflow. But to really understand how the lighting and the colors and everything really come together for a photo, editing without presets, at least in the beginning, is really helpful, and understanding just how all these different parts work. So today we're going to be showing you my workflow all without presets. So I edit almost exclusively in Lightroom on my iPad. Unless I have a more complex edit to do for a client or anything like that, I'll throw it into Photoshop on my computer. But pretty much everything that you've seen in the videos or on my Instagram so far has been all in Lightroom on my iPad. So that's what we're going to be working with today. So if you're interested in that, definitely stick around. But yeah, let's jump right into Lightroom and see what's going on. So here's the first photo we're going to be looking at. Now the first thing I almost always do in editing photos, especially street photography and action shots, is figuring out a basic crop, and there's a couple reasons for that. Firstly, it helps me decide up front if I even want to continue editing the photo, because if I can't find a good crop, I'm probably not going to be using the photo for anything, so I'll just stop right there. And secondly, once I figure out the final composition, I can see which colors and details I really want to bring to the viewer's attention, so having that good composition and crop at the beginning helps me get a solid foundation for the rest of the process. Next, I work on basic adjustments. This includes lighting changes, color correction, and other color manipulation. I usually use the sliders for street photos just because they're quick and easy to use. However, the curve tool is also very useful when I need a little more control. You'll notice that I bump the vibrance and white balance almost immediately when I start working on color, and that's just personal preference. I like a warmer photo, and as for the vibrance, that's just because I like to see all of the colors stand out, and then I can go into the individual color selection and desaturate the colors I want muted to really make the other ones pop. And here's a tip when it comes to color correction: be careful with it. It's very easy to use too much and kind of throw off the balance of your photo. So I would recommend using as little as possible and finding other ways to enhance the colors, like I had mentioned, the individual color selection or using masking. Once I have the basic adjustments figured out, I move to more specific changes. For this photo, I wanted to emphasize that Land Rover logo, so I added a mask over it to kind of bump up the exposure slightly, and then I messed around with the colors a bit to help it stand out a little more. And lastly, I like to clean the photo up with the spot healing and clone tool. I try to not get too carried away with it, and for this photo, I like how the car shows a lot of wear and character, so I'm not going to use too much. However, I am going to clean up that front license plate just so the X is more legible, and then I'm going to clean up that white spot next to the plate on the bumper. Finally, I'll remove this line on the ground just because it's a little distracting. And this is where my process ends in Lightroom. For street photography, I would export the photo here and be good to post it wherever. However, if this was a product shot or shoot for a client or anything like that, I would take the photo and throw it into Photoshop, and I can further tweak it more specifically and add effects or composite or whatever I needed done. However, as far as this goes for social media, I would export the photo here and be done with it. And really quickly, here's a landscape shot just so you can see the process again in a different setting. For this photo, I really struggled with the crop and the composition. I wasn't sure how I wanted the bird on the rock to fit in the shot in relation to the cliffs, so you'll see me go back to the crop tool a lot. However, the rest of the process stays just about the same. So now we'll move on to basic adjustments and colors. I felt the blues of the cliff were clashing a bit too much with the grass, so I dropped the blues way down, and then I made those greens a little more yellow, just so the shot would be a bit more dramatic. And for the individual changes on this one, I wanted that bright part of the rock to stand out and make a line down the cliff to the bird. So I added a couple of masks on the top and bottom corners, and then I dropped the exposure way down to keep the viewer's eye on that center portion of the photo. Now you'll notice the process is pretty fast. I don't like to spend more than 15-20 minutes on a photo that's just gonna go on social media. If I'm gonna end up making a print out of it, or it's for a client or anything like that, I'll spend up to 1 or 2 hours on a single photo, making sure it's perfect. However, for street photos like this that are just gonna go on my Instagram, I don't like to spend more than 20 minutes on them. And here's what we got at the end. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I think it's a little interesting seeing how different artists kind of have their own workflow and just kind of what works for them, and getting different ideas on how you can influence your own workflow and kind of find your spot in your editing style. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Different types of photos. I really enjoyed kind of re-editing those photos because I already have those all edited for other sets, but kind of re-editing them and seeing where I could tweak different parts of it is really interesting. It's always fun to go back to a photo and kind of find a new way to edit it and find different parts of it that you didn't notice before. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you have any suggestions or anything like that, leave those in the comments down below. Let me know which photo you like the most. Definitely also let me know if you guys have any similarities or differences between your workflow and mine. Maybe you can give me some tips on how to make my flow more efficient. So I've been kind of tweaking it as we go, but yeah, I'm always looking to get more efficient. If you guys have any suggestions or anything, definitely leave those in the comments. Let's get a discussion going. If you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to stick around for the future. Until the next one, thanks for watching.